Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with, if I could choose only one recording by artist X, it would have to be Work Z. Well, this is a popular demand. Well, one person demanded it, but I'm really happy that you did, so thank you for demanding it. If I could choose only one recording by Leopold Stokowski, it would have to be what? That's a tough one, isn't it? Because Stokowski made great recordings from the days of 78s, the first electrical recordings, early electrical recordings, all the way until the 1970s. And some of them were just fabulous. I mean, he was an amazing conductor. Some of them were also incredibly perverse. And so that's the trick. What do you choose? Do you choose his famous Bach transcriptions or something else that he orchestrated? Or do you choose one of his demented things that he reorchestrated, like Scheherazade or something, where he did his own versions of things that were totally wacky and cut and sliced Glier's Ilya Muromets or his Wagner? Or, it's almost impossible to know where to draw the line. Or do you pick one of his serious recordings where he does fabulous versions of standard classics like Beethoven's Eroica or Brahms' Fourth Symphony? It's really, really hard. And that's why I chose, for quite a few reasons, to present to the evil god Kankrasans. This is actually a great one, because when I talk to the evil god Kankrasans and I say to him, listen, this guy made a bazillion recordings. You can't destroy all of classical music, but for one recording per composer or artist, when the guy had such range and such a sort of schizoid multiple personality approach. I mean, he could be very serious and very dedicated, or he could be completely out of his mind and wacky. And don't you want to hear the wacky stuff? But you don't want to get rid of the great stuff. You know what I mean? So, by way of delaying the inevitable, the work in question is Frank Martin's Petite Symphony concertante. That's Swiss composer Frank Martin, or Martin. It doesn't matter what you call him. He was sort of German, French, Swiss, whatever. You can make it up as you go along. The bottom line is this is a 20th century masterpiece. And why did I choose it? Well, if you don't know the work, you really should. Here it is, by the way. It's in this Leopold Stokowski icon box. It originally came coupled to some William Steinberg stuff on one of those EMI cheapy reissue things. And it's on the second disc of this. And the second disc is kind of amazing in and of itself. The second disc contains, are you ready? Bartók's music for strings, percussion, and celesta. Not a great recording of that, because Stokowski had many great qualities, but a certain barbarity of rhythm and sharpness was not one of them, because he was such a chord guy. He was into succulent sounds. And this performance lasts 33 minutes. It's slow. But then you've got Ibert's Escale, which is wonderful. And now the Martin, Petite Symphony concertante, the Farberman Evolution, Harold Farberman's Evolution, and a March by Vincent Persichetti. I mean, typical Stokowski, right? And that's why I chose this work, because among the other things he did, he conducted more contemporary music and led more premieres than anyone in the universe. I mean, just more than anybody. And what's also incredible is that when it came to new music, he was usually not terribly perverse. He was often very, very dedicated and technically adroit and really full of almost a missionary zeal to put over this music in the best possible way. And he brought all of his, interpretive magic to the playing of music that a lot of people would never going to want to hear again, or never got heard again. And that is something really, really special. That's the one quality in him that I most treasure and want to remember. And the Petite Symphony concertante is amazing because you have to see the booklet for details here. Let me tell you about this. The piece is written for double string orchestra, which is Stokowski's meat and potatoes, because it's strings, and then solo, a harp, a harpsichord, and a piano. three instruments that are practically impossible to balance. It seldom gets performed live. I have seen it once, I will say that, which was amazing in and of itself. And it's hard to find for that reason. It's an impractical piece. Even Frank Martin turned it into a full symphony with a regular orchestra because of the difficulty in getting a harp, a harpsichord, and a piano together, and how you position and balance everything and get it. It's a tough piece, but it's a masterpiece. It's brilliant. It's great to listen to. It's colorful and just it's in his own style, which sometimes uses 12-note motives, but in a generally tonal ambience. It's memorable. It's thematically incredibly memorable. And once you've heard it, you'd never forget it because nothing sounds like it. And that was Stokowski because he got into the sound. And more than that, he got into the sonics. He got into recordings. He wanted his recordings to sound, well, the way he wanted them to sound, but mostly fabulous. And this thing does. I mean, it was recorded. Wait a minute. This is the thing that's so amazing. 1957, with the Leopold Stokowski Symphony Orchestra. In other words, just a pickup ensemble of string players and soloists who are unnamed here, by the way. And at the Riverside Plaza Hotel in New York. It's absolutely incredible. 1957. And for all that, and this piece has been recorded many, many times since. I mean, there must be at least a dozen, maybe more, 15 or so, recordings of the work that have come out over time. This version has the best performance and the best sonics of all of them. It's still the reference recording. And it was it was written in the 1940s, I believe. It's a brand new piece, and he just knocked the ball out of the park. It was a home run, an incredible home run. It says so much about all of his best qualities as a musician and as an artist and as a missionary for the cause of contemporary music. There has never been anybody like him. And I don't think there ever will be again, because he just there are lots of conductors who specialize in contemporary music. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are people like Herman Scherchen, conductors who'll do anything, but to do it at the level of quality that he did, and to record so much of it and leave us such an incredible legacy, and it's still just a fraction of what he actually did. Really, really astonishing. It really says something about what an amazing artist he was, and so that's the pick. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.